And we're back live from the E3 show floor with GameSpot's continuing coverage. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and joining me on stage now, Jim Boone, a guy who doesn't look nearly half as ridiculous as the game he brought to show us, Saints Row 4. Jim, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
Let me see. Bring the mic a little closer.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe flip it. Is it on? Did it get flipped off?
There we go. How's that?
Give it one more try.
There we go.
All right, we're in business.
Now we're working.
All right, Jim. Saints Row 4. You guys continuing this the franchise's beautiful meteoric rise to the absurd heights of video gaming.
Yes.
Because now you're the president of the United States.
Isn't that the most logical transition in the world to go, from just a simple gang member to being president? That's the American way, I think,
you
right?
Consolidate your power base, you build, power begets power, and then boom, you're president.
Right, exactly. Perfectly logical in our twisted world, of course, only.
Yeah, and speaking of the twisted world, this is not, you're not going back and you're president and everything with Earth is just fine and operating per usual.
Correct, yes.
There's like a little bit of alien meddling. There's almost like a Matrix-esque scenario happening.
You got it, yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of an origin story, and we won't spoil that right now, but in terms of how you become president, and what we're seeing now is actually you being the president in the White House, and we're going to give you a little bit of a chance to see what it's like. Imagine if you actually could be president. What kinds of things would you do, right? Because probably it's not going to be the fun things like signing bills into law or anything like that. You have to do it Saint style, right?
Man, I would sit in the Oval Office for so long and just read.
Right.
It would be killer.
Wouldn't that be the most amazing gameplay of all time? No, we decided to mix it up a little bit. So,
I think that's wise.
So yeah, so in the middle of you doing your presidential duties, though, in the White House, which you're seeing here, with Vice President Keith David here.
Keith David played by, who's the actor you guys got to play Keith David?
Keith David.
I think that's a great fit.
Yes, we thought so. We thought that was a role he was born to play. And so, yeah, so you're going to do a few of these duties here, but then from there, unfortunately, the Zen invade, and that is this evil alien force that you're talking about. And so what they're doing is they're going around from planet to planet throughout the galaxy and trying to conquer planets. And the way that they do it is they abduct everyone, and then they put you in this virtual sort of prison, and they try to break your will. They're trying to indoctrinate you to make you join the Zen. But the problem is that they're expecting, like, I'm just going to grab the president and these politicians, right, and bend their will, not realizing that you're a psychopath leader of the Saints and something of a badass.
Even the 1/4 of the stuff that I did at Saints Row the Third. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And so he ends up having his hands full with the president and the rest of his people.
Well, he was just, doing some good deeds, eliminating cancer, doing presidential duties.
Exactly. Right. Here he's going to, he's dealing with a politician. Now he's got Josh Burke, which is one of the members from Saints Row the Third. And you're going to see a cameo here from Oleg, and yeah.
Oh, I love that dude. Anytime he gets in a car, it just cracks me up.
Exactly.
All right, well, speaking of cars, one of the things that was really fun in Saints Row the Third was just getting into a crazy array of vehicles, scooping people up in the Catmobile and shooting them out of a cannon, etc., etc. What are you guys bringing in terms of wacky vehicles this time around?
Oh my God, we've got a few exotic vehicles. So if we've got an alien invasion, we have to have UFOs, of course.
Naturally.
Yes, and so those are what we've had fun with is actually giving the aliens a bunch of really exotic vehicles that will also help challenge the player, along with being vehicles that then you can, just like in the previous Saints Row games, I can get it, I can collect it, and now I can call it whenever I want, and now I can fly in a UFO if I want to.
All right.
There's also hover tanks that are an incredibly powerful sort of vehicle for you to fight against. And what happens is, as you start to progress through the game, the aliens become more and more powerful that you fight against, and the vehicles are one of those mechanisms where, again, imagine this giant hover tank that's going around and fighting against you.
Within Saints Row, it's actually not that hard to imagine.
It's not, right? Exactly. Yeah, and here you're seeing Zinyak. This is the leader of the Zen, and he's making his grand entrance into the White House. And
just messing up a press briefing.
Right.
No consideration at all for the American people.
It's a very sad thing, but he'll pay for that. The president will make him pay.
Oh, he will pay.
Indeed.
All right, so we talked about vehicles. One of the things that you guys have showed off in trailers, much to the delight of many, is also some really goofy weaponry. I particularly enjoyed the Inflato Ray, which basically you shoot someone and it just makes their body parts swell to comically large sizes before they explode.
Indeed, yeah. We have a lot of fun with our crazy exotic weapons evolution, and yeah, Inflator Ray is a great example of that.
And then of course dubstep gun.
Yes, that seems to be our fan favorite so far. People kind of go nuts for that one, and we've had a lot of fun coming up with that one. That's one of those weapons where it literally took an entire team working on that, and everyone touched it because it started off with an idea actually back in Saints Row the Third with our audio director, and he came up with this idea of, wouldn't it be amazing if we had this weapon that would kill with the power of sound? And that's very intriguing. What do we go from there? And
what kind of sound has the power to kill humans? Dubstep, of course.
Of course, right? What else would it be?
People are in the Twitch chat fondly reminiscing out of Saints Row the Third events. Curtis Axe jumping out of a plane, opening a parachute, landing on vehicles and whatnot. And actually, I'm just distracted real quick by the converted Oval Office, which now just is loaded to the teeth with
style.
all sorts of weapons. So those over-the-top action sequences, obviously the open world gameplay and sort of that emergent chaos is a huge part of Saints Row. But then you've also got those big events.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the things we've had a lot of fun with in Saints Row 4 as well, is we have a lot of our missions will take place in the virtual world of Steelport, and that's where they're putting the president in to break his mind. But we have a lot of other nightmare realms, so your entire cabinet gets abducted. In fact, you're seeing it right now with Pierce and Ben King getting abducted. And what happens is each of these people are put into their own private nightmares so that their will can be broken. And what the president has to do is he has to go into their nightmare realms, pull them out, bring them back into the real world, which is actually in your crib ship, of course, because now you're in outer space on Zinniac's capital ship. And you're slowly rescuing each of these guys. And so what that does for us, though, is it allows us to create a lot of different variety in terms of these areas. They have their own private nightmares. You have the real world with the alien and the alien forest. I think people will be pleased. We've got a lot of pretty exotic locales that along the lines of what we did with Saints Row the Third.
Yeah, it's not like you guys were really hurting for an excuse to bring wackiness during Saints Row the Third, but now with the virtual worlds and all the private nightmares is what really intrigues me. I'm just imagining like this Dante-esque journey through the inferno of the different tiers of what's Keith David's private nightmare, what's Shondi's private nightmare.
Yeah, there's some great ones. I think that without spoiling any of it, of course, there's some good fan service there. So taking someone like Shondi as an example, for those for longtime fans of Saints Row, I think they're going to be pleased with what we've done with Shondi's Nightmare. Shondi's Nightmare realm. But even something like Keith David, that's one I'm probably more excited about than any other mission for people to see, because to your point, right, it's Keith David. So what would you possibly do with Keith David? I guarantee for people are going to go nuts with Keith David's Nightmare Realm. It's amazing.
I'm getting really excited now about this. All right, so one of the users whose name I really don't feel comfortable pronouncing from the Twitch chat, yeah, no doubt, is curious about gangs, and obviously the aliens are a huge nemesis here, but what kind of other foes are you going to be encountering or entities?
Yeah, actually there's a pretty decent variety, and the aliens we introduce because it helps provide that that really powerful foe. We've given you superpowers, so you're going to need someone that's just beyond the standard game member to challenge you. But what we've done is going back to that where I'm talking about the nightmare realms, we've got a lot of gang members that will show up in that. So to give you an example of one, Ben King, who is your chief of staff, he used to be the leader of the Vice Kings all the way back in Saints Row 1. And so you're actually going to see some of the Vice Kings make a return appearance that you're going to have to fight against. And so you will see a little bit of the flavor of some of our older gang members as well. Excellent. But definitely the dominant enemy, though, of course, are the aliens.
As we're seeing them get just mowed really down really hard by the presidential artillery.
You were correct. It is the White House cannon. Because, of course, the president, he needs to have some weaponry. He loves weapons. And so,
it's good to be the king or the chief. Oh, come on. Washington Monument.
Can you believe that? It's totally unacceptable.
Got aliens.
Yeah, but he'll make them pay, because in just a moment here, we're going to see the president go mano-a-mano against Zinniac, the leader of the Zin.
President punching aliens. That is delightful. Questions are coming in hot and heavy. Padbot wants to know about any cooperative multiplayer.
Yes, everything is totally co-op. It's two-player co-op, drop in, drop out, just like we had in Saints Row 2 and 3. It's a really awesome way to be able to play the game. And we've actually got a couple of activities that are specifically designed for co-op play. There's Death Tag, where you and I can fight against each other. We are both given a random superpower and just have at it. And then there's Cat and Mouse, makes a return appearance, that was in Saints Row the Third also. But now imagine Cat and Mouse with superpowers. It's amazing. It's so much fun. But yeah, everything is full campaign is co-op play.
All right, very cool. So folks were asking about other modes, like the Horde mode from Saints Row the Third. Gave a little taste of different co-op modes. Is Horde mode coming back, or is
Horde
that?
mode is not coming back. We thought that one was such a quintessential Saints Row the Third one. We had a lot of fun with it, but with these new modes I was just talking about with Death Tag and Cat and Mouse, they catered perfectly to our superpowers, and so it gave us a chance to really focus on the superpowers, I think, and that's why Horde mode isn't making a return appearance.
Sure. You guys bringing some new stuff.
Exactly.
Soliloquize was reflecting that, I remember when Obama fought the Republicans barehanded. You guys are really taking from real life here.
Absolutely. We're inspired by the politicians of today, of course. And that's part of the fantasy of it. That's why we love you being the president, because who wouldn't want to be a politician, being the leader of the Saints as a politician and going in there and trying to do some damage, Saint style, right?
Yeah.
Try to free up some of the the fun that's going on in Washington these days.
Yeah, lighten it up a little bit. Get things done
Exactly.
with punches and superpowers. Speaking of which, Alien was just kind of like throwing the president around with mind powers.
You got it. Yeah.
Am I gonna be able to throw people around with mind powers?
Of course you are. Absolutely, yeah. That we kind of separate the superpowers the way we talk about it into two different categories. There's the navigation super abilities. So here, for example, you're taking a look at the president. He's on top of one of these giant alien towers, and you can do super jumps. You can glide through the air. It's just a completely different way to be able to navigate through the world.
Wow.
Needless to say.
That president is flying.
You can jump from any height. You can do death from above here, where you can quickly hurtle to the ground and do a massive explosion. So just your ability to be able to navigate through the world is totally amazing. And yeah, here you're seeing you being able to use telekinesis. With the power of your mind, you can pick up vehicles, you can pick up people, fling them around wherever you want. It's a ton of fun.
I can't tell you how many hours that at the GameSpot offices we just sat around walking down by the river and just throwing people over into the river and trying to bounce them off the guardrail, just delighting in that physics model and that just goofiness.
Yep. There's so much emergent stuff, and one of the things I find people do with telekinesis is you can grab a person and aim way up in the air. You'll launch them, and one of the things that's fun is to see if you can use your super sprint to catch up as quickly as possible to the person that you just flung, hundreds of meters into the distance. It's awesome.
I smell an achievement in the works. Catch the guy you threw sky high.
Yes.
People are curious, Lustiker, about the sort of size of these open world areas. You've talked, about many different worlds that you'll sort of go through with these nightmares and the virtual Steelport, which we see here. In terms of size of the world, I mean, is it comparable to the third? Or?
Exactly, yeah. So the open world is very comparable to the same size. What we've done with Steelport here is we've tended to build upwards, if that makes sense. So we have a lot of these alien towers.
Jump off an alien tower that was 2 miles high or something crazy.
You got it, exactly, right? And so now because you have all these abilities that let you move upward, we've had a lot of fun building these areas and doing a lot more with our rooftops. So now the aliens, there are actually superpowered aliens that will be able to chase you to the rooftops. And portals will spawn up there. So that stuff is fantastic. But then these nightmare realms we've been talking about, those are more mission size. So those are not new open world areas for you to enjoy. They're definitely, they're built for you to be able to go in there, have fun with it, and then come back out to the open world here.
Yeah, see, and judging from what I kind of imagine you guys are going with, it's going to be a very surreal, humorous, kind of experience, and then, then back to the emergent mayhem of virtual Steelport.
You've got it. That's exactly right. Yeah, we've had, classic Saints Row, we always have fun with it, and I think people are going to really enjoy the humor in this one, because we've had a lot of jokes at various people's expense. We do a lot of pop culture references, and, it's all in good fun. We're huge fans of a lot of the people that are out there, but it's a fun way to be able to just add some humor to the game.
Yeah, certainly... Obviously, the goofy takedowns still in full effect.
Very much so, yeah. Except now they're superpowered. So when you're in this virtual sort of environment, you can do some of these takedowns, and they're pretty amazing. Or we have offensive superpowers here, like you're seeing with Buff. This is one where you can set the player on fire, and anyone that is nearby is also going to be consumed in flame. And all of your rounds that you fire off are incendiary rounds also. So any enemy that you shoot, they're also going to get caught on fire.
And we saw some freezing earlier, I
Yes,
believe.
Exactly, and that is blast. So that one, you can freeze people solid. And all of the superpowers are also are able to be used in conjunction with each other. So they each have their own recharge timer. So what I can do is I can take the blast, I can freeze a bunch of people, then I can quickly pop over to Stomp, which does this concussive blast, which will then shatter everyone.
It's almost like the person playing is listening to us right now.
Indeed, is it not? Exactly.
What is this Super Soaker? What does that Super Soaker do? Because I think I had that version, except
Yes.
it didn't shoot green lasers.
Indeed, it did not. Yes, this is one of our fun ways that we've extended customization into Saints Row 4. So customization has always been a huge part of all the Saints Row games, going all the way back to Saints Row 1. And we've brought back that same level of customization with Saints Row 4. So in fact, you'll be able to take your character that you created in Saints Row the Third and bring him and import him into Saints Row 4, which is great.
And is crazy zombie mushmouth talking?
No, we have a different one. We've not revealed it yet, but I think fans are going to enjoy this one. So
all right.
But
because you guys have done auto-tune talk and zombie talk.
We have, yes. Well,
right.
I think that if you are a hardcore gamer, I guarantee you're going to love this one.
All right.
That's about as far as I can go.
Okay.
But with the weapons, right? So you saw the Super Soaker there.
Yeah.
What you can do now is you can customize the appearance of your weapons. So we have what we call weapon costumes. So it'll take a machine gun and turn it into a big giant squirt gun, or you can take a rocket launcher and turn it into a guitar case. And then we have a ton of different skins that you can do on top of that. So you can make it gold-plated, or you can get it blood-soaked, or all kinds of stuff. We have over 200 different items for the various weapons that you'll be able to do to customize the look of your weapon. But it will still function exactly the same. It just makes it look that much more exotic for your character.
Sure. All right, Jim. We're running low on time, but I want to get some rapid-fire questions here real quick.
You got it.
Can you even do... do you even need to... You don't really need to drive cars anymore, but you can.
You're exactly right. You can customize, you can drive whatever you want, but Superpower is the way to go.
Can you play as an alien at any point?
You have an outfit that is alien-inspired, but not as an alien.
All right. And people are curious about characters like Johnny Gat, Mr. Genki, all these sort of Saints Row goofballs.
I can confirm that Mr. Genki is back. Professor Genki is there. Gat, he died in Saints Row 3. So.
Oh, Johnny Gat. But anything's possible in a nightmare realm. All right, Saints Row 4. Jim, when is this game coming out? When can people delve into the utter superpowered absurdity?
Saints Row 4 is going to be out August 20th, so it's right around the corner.
Right around the corner, and on what platforms?
It'll be PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC.
All right, thank you so much for coming. That was a real pleasure.
It's our pleasure to be here.
Saints Row, always a really fun game to talk about. Folks, we're just taking a quick break now, and we'll be back with more live demos here from GameSpot Stage 1 at E3 2013.
Hey folks, Homer